Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Today I have a new tutorial for you all, and this one is talking about using reverb to create mood, to create depth for your vocals, to give it a very distinct sense of space. I used a very large reverb on this vocal, and it makes a huge difference just in terms of the vibe of the track. This is really what I was hearing in my head before I even mixed it, which I was actually talking about in a lesson yesterday. Something that I should probably just bring up is when you all sit down to do a mix, you want to already kind of have the idea of the way you want things to sound in your head. So after you've listened to the rough mix, or you're an artist and you just recorded it, you want to kind of have the blueprint premeditated in your head. And this is the sound for the vocal that I was hearing as I was producing the track. But let me just go ahead and play back the hook. I've had this song featured in some of my other videos, but we're going to be looking at, again, a different aspect, which is the reverb.
I loved you so hard, but you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you left with no reason. You left with no reason. All the things unsaid, my imagination's running wild. All the things unsaid, I'm trying to figure out all the things unsaid. All the things unsaid, it's running wild. All the things unsaid, all the things unsaid, all the things unsaid. My imagination's running wild.
All right, so that gives you an idea, again, of what's happening there. It's just got a really lush sound, big 7-second reverb on the Valhalla. I'm going to show you how I have that routed, and I also have it EQ'd. But let me go ahead and I'm just going to solo the main hook layer and let you hear that. And you probably noticed that I've automated the send to the reverb over here. And I actually turn the reverb all the way off once we get to this section. So it goes from this really wet signal to this really dry signal. I'm going to talk about why I did that in a little bit. It's just totally changes the mood and the vibe of this vocal. But with the reverb,
I loved you so hard, but you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you left with no reason. You left with no reason.
so I've got like these cicada recordings in there and just a very ambient kind of mood that I was wanting to create. So this big reverb just fit perfectly. And I'll show you how big of a difference it makes in the vibe. I'm going to turn the reverb off. Let's go ahead and turn the delay off too, just so you can get a big picture here.
I loved you so hard, but you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you left with no reason. You left with no reason.
So you got the reverb on that little ad lib there, but otherwise just hearing it dry, like the vibe just totally gets sucked out of it. It's a great vocal, great performance by Ami, but in terms of just the mix and the feel of the track, when I take that reverb off, it's not there. Huge difference. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to show you exactly a little more detail of the reverb. So again, I just have a send to the Valhalla and we're EQing the reverb. So we've got a low cut here as well as some high cut. And I tell you what, let's just solo the reverb itself. So big and dreamy there. I think I based this off of this very nice Hall preset. Might have made some adjustments there, but if you go to the 80s color setting and then just turn your decay up on the vintage Verb, you can get this really nice sound. And again, with the EQ, let me just show you the difference that makes. If we are to take off the EQ, let's just play the hook. Let me solo.
I loved you so hard, but you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you left with no.
So it's pretty cool, but once we play that back with the beat,
You so hard, but you made it look easy.
it's just a little bit too washy, a little bit too much going on. So once we turn that on,
I loved you so hard, but you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you.
it just focuses the ambience and the washiness really just to our low mids, mid frequencies, and it doesn't make it overpowering or just too washy really. That's why we EQ that. Now let me move on, and I want to talk about this automation here that I actually did this by accident. So another just point to make, that when you're mixing and when you're producing, when you're doing anything in music, it's okay to make some mistakes. And sometimes stuff like this happens where I heard it in the bounce. I was doing a final bounce to just kind of review, listening in my car, and I noticed that I forgot to have this reverb sent on the last part of this hook. For whatever reason, it was off. I didn't actually have it automated here, but let me show you what I'm talking about. When we go from that washy part,
Reason. You left with no reason. All the things unsaid, my imagination's running wild. All the things unsaid, I'm trying to feel.
the main vocal goes completely dry. I mean, we've got the delay on there, but in terms of the reverb, I took the send all the way down. And what that does is when you take the reverb off of the vocal, it brings the vocal more up front, which coming out of that softer, really atmospheric, lush hook without any of the drums or anything, and then going into this break part with kind of like this dubsteppy sort of synth, I wanted it to be more kind of abrasive when it comes in. So it gives it that aggressive sort of effect. And that just shows you, just how powerful it is to, have reverb and then to take away the reverb or do some things, maybe creatively in your mix where you're automating that reverb in some way. So again, let me just play going back from the smooth part to that so you can hear it.
To abandon our love, you left with no reason. You left with no reason. All the things unsaid, my imagination's running wild. All the things unsaid.
So the backing vocals, some of the harmonies, still got the reverb on there. It's the same reverb. But again, just the main layer goes dry for that part. And then we bring the reverb back in.
All the things unsaid, it's running wild.
Going into the last hook. So anyways, y'all, just a real quick tutorial, something that I wanted to point out and make you all aware of if you weren't already, that it's okay to, have some really big reverbs. It's actually really cool. I'm hearing it a lot more these days to put, these larger, more creative reverbs. Just make sure you do some EQing just to kind of keep them in check. But I get a lot of questions in my lessons and also on the channel about, how do I differentiate my hook from my verses? Reverb is a great way to do it. You can use a different reverb on the hook versus the one used in the verse, or you can use something a little bigger like I did here to give your vocal a very distinct, moody atmosphere and just a heavy vibe. That's what I love about this particular reverb, is it just has a vibe about it, and it's exactly what I was going for this track. And if you have a good vocal performance and you put a really beautiful, lush reverb like this on it, it just gives you this great, dreamy sound. So anyways, I hope that helps y'all. If you learned anything in this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll talk to you soon.